Hey guys, it's Jessie here from Tonkadale, and today we're talking about plant trends for 2022 and some of my favorite plant picks that fulfill each of these trending categories. Are you with me? Is it backwards? All right, so the first trend we're looking at is bigger is better. So we're looking for big plants. We've leveled up and we've got our plant care down. Maybe we have some huge floor to ceiling windows. Let's get some big plants in the house. This year, I want to talk about the Ficus Audrey. The Ficus Audrey used to be really hard to get our hands on, and now that it's widely available, what I love about them as a big statement piece in the house is their funky growth habit. Because they were in such high demand, at one time they were heavily propagated. So you can see when you're picking out a plant, many different cuts where they were pruned and propagated to make more. And that makes them grow kind of in really funky configurations. And I love the asymmetry of that. I think it's really cool. And, you know, even if it's not growing straight in the pot, I still like it. The next trending category is blooming beauties. Just like when you plant a garden outside, you want to have things that bloom throughout the season, early, mid, and late summer. Well, what if you could bring that same concept inside and have plants that bloom off and on throughout the year? That's kind of the challenge with blooming plants. You buy them and they're beautiful and blooming. To get them to rebloom does take a little bit of care and research. Look at this. It's a jewel orchid. This is a terrestrial type orchid that grows mainly on the ground in the rainforest versus our epiphytic orchids that grow on tree trunks and branches and all crazy places. These bloom specifically in the winter months. And as you can see here, it has this really gorgeous cone-shaped bud. It's about ready to burst. And the blooms are a gorgeous pale white. Now, the jewel orchid is going to like lower light and more even moisture than our other orchid friends, but it does appreciate some really sharp drainage and a nice barky soil. The third trend that we're following is called classic hits. So if we want to bring it back to the old school, we're talking about ferns and ivies. When I hear those words, ferns and ivies, I think, oh my God, they're gonna die immediately in my care. But you know what? This is my favorite fern, and it is virtually indestructible, highly underrated plant. It is the Victorian bird's nest fern with the genus Asplenium. There's lots of varieties in the bird nest fern family. I would say in my top 10 favorite houseplants. I love it. Do you guys like it? Okay, great. So medium light, bright indirect light, it can even tolerate low light. What I love about this fern is if it dries out, it's not going to get all cranky and die on you. You'll just take it to the sink, water it real good, let it drain, and put it back in its place. The hottest collector plants are the almighty Airoids. They are going to continue to trend long into 2022. One thing that's really cool about Airoids is it's a very vast and diverse family, which includes philodendrons, monsteras, the spathiphyllum, aglaonema, syngoniums, and they're all united by one common characteristic. It's this type of inflorescence that they carry, and it's called a spadix. And what's really cool about it is they have this long axis of teeny tiny flowers that's surrounded by a sheath called a spathe. Although some of them flower very insignificantly, it's really fun to see the unity among the family members. And this one is kind of special. This is the spathiphyllum called Domino, and it has these really cool mottled and variegated leaves. I mean, the top Airoid of last year was probably the Pink Princess. And I know we're looking for those fancy, hard to get Airoids all the time, but don't overlook some of them. They're more common relatives. And when you're doing so, look for some uniqueness within each category. So I love this Domino spathiphyllum for that reason. A really important trend to follow is fabulous foliage. Now I'm going to tell you something. Adding a mosaic of colorful foliage throughout your plant collection can help tell the story and lead a person's eye through the greenery. It kind of interrupts that foresty jungle-like appearance and gives your eye a place to rest while also being super interesting and really gorgeous. Now, a lot of plant collectors will collect plants within a certain color category. For example, white and green variegation, or pink leaves, or dark purple leaves, or even black leaves. And I love this. This is a new plant for us. I don't even know if I can say it correctly. We're just going to call it the George plant, Geogenanthus ciliatus. Now, upon closer examination, I can tell that the stem here is arranged very much like a Tradescantia. So I'm thinking this is similar to a Tradescantia, where it's going to be very easy to propagate and a very fast grower while also needing a significant amount of moisture. Check out these purpley black leaves. The veining is supreme. Top a few of these in with the greenery to add some visual interest. The final trend we're talking about today is collections. Collections are key. Searching and hunting for plants to assort within a collection is really fun, and it's what keeps the journey going. Now, when choosing which plants to collect, you want to pick plants that have a vast array of species within their genus. So great place to start would be with Hoyas. There is great diversity in Hoyas with lots of affordable, very common varieties that are also very beautiful, and then many that are more rare, highly sought after. You can curate a collection with some high value plants or plants that you're propagating from cuttings, along with some more common and affordable plants, or some that only are available for time to time. When I'm shopping for plants, what's really exciting for me is to randomly come upon a plant I've been looking for, or I saw it on the internet, come around the corner and come upon it. It's like finding a treasure. So if you're ready to start a plant collection, I would recommend going the Hoya route or the Peperomia route. And this one is adorable. It's called Beetle. I love it. The thing that's really amazing about these plants is, although they're all Hoyas or they're all Peperomias, the leaf shape and habit can be very different from species to species. Both are going to like medium to bright indirect light. And guess what? They both flower. The flower in Peperomias are more insignificant. They're actually commonly referred to as an inflorescence. They're not unlike the Airoid flower. However, they don't have that sheath or spathe that we talked about earlier. Hoyas have beautifully fragrant, waxy flowers. A common name for Hoyas is actually wax flower. So they have beautiful pink or white flowers in almost like an umbel or a cluster. And they look like flowers off of a cake, and they smell amazing. So collections are key. All right, let's wrap it all up. Our plant trends for 2022 are bigger is better, blooming beauties, almighty Airoids, fantastic foliage, and collections are key. Now you have it on lock. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at Tonkadale.